Sonic Heroes. If you ask a Sonic fan what they thought of Sonic Heroes, you'll hear that it's either the last great game before the Dark Ages, or it's the game that started the Dark Ages. I find myself in the middle. There's a lot that the game does that works for me, but there are also things about it that I really don't like. I decided to make this video in order to better articulate my thoughts on the game. Please note that I'm making this review just to explain why I don't like this game as much as other people, and don't hate it as much as other people. If you love this game, great. If you hate it, fine. This is just my opinion. The most obvious place to start for review is gameplay. This game came out right after Sonic Adventure 2 and it shows. A large portion, if not the entire vocal cast, reprised their roles, and the gameplay itself is largely the same style as the Sonic and Shadow levels of Sonic Adventure 2, with one major change. You no longer just play as one character, but instead is a team consisting of a speed character, a flight character, and a power character. There are 4 teams, technically making this the biggest playable roster of any mainline Sonic game at 12 characters, although all speed characters play almost identically to each other, minus surface level differences, same for power and flight characters as well. These 4 teams go through the same levels, but with different unique twists depending on the team, as well as a unique story scenario for each. The levels themselves are designed to encourage frequent switching based on your situation, and this is one of the things that I like about Sonic Heroes. One of the things I don't like is the execution, and I'll break it down character by character. The speed characters are supposed to be the characters used for high speed in order to get through the levels quickly to get a good time. But they are incredibly slippery, and I constantly found myself flying around, only attacking right into enemy weapons, or sometimes using the light speed dash right in front of the ring line, just to only get the first one as Sonic falls to his death right afterwards. They are also offensively the weakest. Their homing attack is supposed to be a triple attack with the flight and power characters attacking as well, but the move doesn't work half the time, so you usually only do 1 point of damage. As a result, the speed characters are bad at platforming, bad at combat, and are really only useful for going fast, and only when it's safe to do so. The flight characters are supposed to be used for slower and more methodical platforming and to reach higher areas, with poor combat skills and slow speed. They are the opposite of the speed characters. Instead of being worse than they should be, they are a lot better than they should be. They don't make platforming easier, they make it a complete joke, with it being almost impossible to fall into the pits. But what makes them broken is their offensive capabilities. Once flight characters reach levels 2 and 3, they become monsters at combat, even outclassing the power characters because they are strong, can hit fast, and are ranged, meaning they are completely safe. The power characters are probably the most balanced characters in the game because they actually fulfill their niche while not overreaching into being overpowered. Power characters have medium speed, are alright at platforming, and deal the most damage. The issue with power characters is that they get hit pretty easily due to being up close and personal with the enemies. So fight characters are almost always better for combat. I don't see that as the power characters being bad, it's more so the fight characters are better than they should be, so I'll give it a pass. The power characters are a lot less glitchy than the speed characters, so I found myself using them in place of the speed characters when I wanted to go fast in a dangerous situation. With all this being said, I still found the game itself to be enjoyable, especially once you get a hold of the slippery controls. The speed characters can be fun once you get a good enough understanding of the game's physics. The fight characters are also fun, if nothing else but for destroying waves of enemies with complete ease, and the power characters are also fun once you learn how to bob and weave between enemy attacks. This does require you to have already invested time into the game, experience trial by fire, but once you do, it is fun. It is hard to get a hold of, but once you do, you can have fun. I can't say that about the special stages though. The special stages are the most hated part of this game, and that is completely justified. Even people who like Sonic Heroes a lot still agree that these special stages are complete dog water. I would rather eat off of a gas station floor than play these special stages again. The problem starts right away with how you unlock these torture devices. Other Sonic games had the secret stages be accessed by a simple and easy goal. Either finding a secret gate in a level or being below itself with 50 rings. Sonic Heroes combines the two into the hardest special stage requirement in the entire series. First, you need to find one of the secret keys in the level, pick it up, and take it to the end. Similar to how you picked up Chao Garden keys in Sonic Adventure 2. Alright, this doesn't sound so bad. Just find the key and beat the level. There are multiple keys, you only need one, and they are in plain sight. What could be so hard? The difficulty comes when you realize that getting hit once makes you drop the key, and you have no opportunity to pick it back up. It is just gone. You can be in the final stretch of a level, get hit, and have to restart the entire level over in order to unlock the special stages. This is especially painful in the later stages. So you managed to get a key and take it to the end of the level. That should be the hard part done, right? Well, no, because these special stages make the Steam port of Final Fantasy XIII-2 look like a stable game. The physics aren't even slippery, they just go all over the place with absolutely no rhyme or reason. Everybody knows how easy it is to get sucked up to the ceiling and fall down, but I've had the stage trainer to kill all my momentum and even make me go backwards. This gets worse with every stage as you just keep adding more and more bombs, and it is just a complete mess. And you need to do this 7 times in order to get the 7 Chaos Emeralds and unlock the final story. My recommendation would be to complete the 4 main stories first, and then just download a 100% save file. Because this just ain't worth it. Taking a break from the special stages, I'd like to narrow down how each team makes minor tweaks to the levels to shake things up. Team Sonic is composed of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, and it's a standard experience for Sonic Heroes. Levels take about 8 minutes for the first run, with a decent amount of combat, platforming, and difficulty. You're most likely to pick Sonic's story first, so having this be the standard experience makes sense. Team Dark is the second team and is my personal favorite. Its members are Shadow, Rouge, and Omega, who is actually the only mainline character to be introduced in Sonic Heroes. Their levels are slightly longer than Team Sonic's and are noticeably harder, but in a good way. The reason that Team Dark is my favorite is because they add shortcuts to their levels that require quick reaction times and warp speed, such as light speed trails or blue screens. If you miss them, all you lose is time, so the low entry point, high skill citizens will feel. You are supposed to pick this game after you have already played one of the other stories, so you are better at playing the game and can make use of these shortcuts. I think this game is worth playing, even if only for experiencing the Team Dark levels. They are that good. Next up is Team Rose, who despite being the third team listed are the easy mode and the only team who needs to go through a forced tutorial. Team Rose is composed of Amy Rose, David Cat, and King the Rabbit, who makes her TV debut after appearing in Sonic and Street. The stages are not only easier, but much shorter, only taking 4 minutes at most. I'm pretty sure everything about this game, from the character choices to the difficulty to the story, was meant for very young children, not even young as in first grade at most. Which is all fine and good, the game is rated E. I just wonder why they made the easy mode the third option of the 4. The last team is composed of Vector, Ezreal, and Charmy, who all only made one appearance in 1995 and did Knuckles Chaos, but have gone on to become recurring characters as they reintroduced in Sonic Heroes. This team gets a lot of hate and is often considered the worst part of the game, but I actually have a soft spot for these guys. Their gimmick is that instead of collecting a set glow ring, they have to complete an objective, such as finding 10 crabs, extinguishing lanterns, or collecting a large amount of rings. Yeah, it can be frustrating when you're missing one item in campaign, but I only really had that problem maybe once. I think knowing that you're constantly working towards a goal just puts me in a way. I think that's also why I like Shadow the Hedgehog more than most other people. But now that we've gone over the gameplay in depth, let's talk about the story. The story is a bit of a break from the ancient gods of destruction and nuclear threats from the adventure games, and is fairly simple in comparison. Every team is after Dr. Eggman.
each for different reasons. Team Sonic wants to stop Eggman from taking over the world, so basically just an average Tuesday for them. They've done this like 10 times already. Team Dark is after Eggman in order to find out why Shadow can't remember anything from Sonic Adventure 2, and also to get revenge for locking Omega up. Team Rose's motivation is to rescue their friends Froggy and Choco Chow from Eggman. Lastly, Team Chaos are only in it for the money, as they receive a mysterious client call asking to be rescued from Dr. Eggman.
With the exception of Team Dark, none of the stories are that complex and lack any real twists. And they aren't really trying to be. Like I said, the story that's more than the adventure game. Before it, and even Shadow the Hedgehog in Sonic 06, the games following it. And that's perfectly fine. A lot of great games have smaller stories that really only serve to justify why you're beating up random robots. And I don't think the story is completely bare bones, as there are some surprising moments, like the aforementioned Team Dark, and also the fifth final story. Speaking of which, over the course of the game, you're given hints that the Dr. Eggman that you are pursuing isn't the real Eggman. From destroyed copies to out-of-place lines, this leads up to the big reveal at the end of Team Chaos' story. The real Eggman was locked up and is role taken over by an imposter. After completing all 4 space stories and getting the 7 Chaos Emeralds, you unlock the final story where it's revealed that the one that you were pursuing the entire game was not Dr. Eggman, but actually Metal Sonic, who has been secretly scanning all of the character's data in order to become stronger. He immediately transforms into the Metal Overlord, and the only way to stop him is by using the Chaos Emeralds to become Super Sonic. The first phase of the fight has you playing as Teams Dark, Rose, and Chaotic, buying time while Sonic prepares to enter Super Sonic. You have to switch your formation depending on the color of Metal Sonic's lights, but it's nothing too difficult. The real fight starts after the Metal Overlord takes flight and Super Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles pursue him. The only way to deal damage to him is by filling up your Team Blast gauge, by breaking through his attacks, but you also have to make sure you pop balloons in order to avoid running out of green. Do this 8 times and pat yourself on the back, you just beat the game. The ending of Sonic Heroes is a lot like Sonic Adventure 2's, with all the different characters congratulating each other and just kind of talking about what they're about to do. Sonic runs away from Amy while Big, Cream, and Tails laugh. Knuckles and Rouge's treasure hunting rivalry continues, and Team Chaos beat up Eggman for scamming them. The group that really sticks out is Shadow, Omega, and Metal Sonic. I didn't mention this earlier in order to avoid spoilers, but at the end of Team Dark's campaign, Rouge and Omega discover a full haul of Shadow androids, robotic copies of the original Shadow the Hedgehog. By the end of the game, it's still unclear as to whether the Shadow we played as was the real one or not, and the last scene with him shows him and Omega picking up Metal Sonic with unknown intent. Early 2000 Sonic fans must have had wild theories and speculations that wouldn't receive answers until 2005's Shadow the Hedgehog. The story then ends how it began, with Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles running through the fields, seen in the opening while the main theme plays. The last thing I want to talk about is the music, which is top-notch, even for a Sonic game. There are vocal tracks for each team, as well as the main theme and a final boss theme, totaling 6, and they are all great. I listen to them regularly. The stage themes were all great too, standouts being Grand Metropolis theme and Casino Park. The end result is one of the best OSTs for a game I've ever heard, especially if you're a fan of Energetic Rock. My personal favorite has to be This Machine, the theme of Team Dark. Overall, Sonic Heroes is a bit of a rough gem of the game, with plenty to love, but also plenty to criticize. The controls are difficult to learn, but if you master them, they can be very fun. The story is simple, but engaging, and the characters all give charming performances. But the question that you really want to be answered is, should you play Sonic Heroes? I guess that answer depends on how patient you can be, because most of your enjoyment will come after your frustration with understanding the controls. If you stick through it though, you have a very fun 3D platformer from the 6th generation of consoles. If this game gets remade with higher physics, then I would recommend it with no hesitation, because the design is pretty solid. Overall, if you do decide to play, then I hope you have a lot of fun, because that's what matters most. Screw those special stages still.